Have you ever wondered about the story behind the final chapter of the Quran, Surah An-Nas? This beautiful, powerful surah, which we recite for protection, has a profound origin story that is both fascinating and deeply relevant to our lives today. Join me as we explore the full story behind Surah An-Nas, the chapter of mankind. To truly understand Surah An-Nas, we must travel back in time to the era of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The revelation of this surah, along with its counterpart, Surah Al-Falaq, is connected to a specific, challenging event in the Prophet's life. These two surahs are known together as Al-Mu'awwidhatayn, the two surahs of seeking refuge. According to historical accounts, a man from a tribe allied with the Jews, named Labid bin Ali, practiced a form of magic against the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. This wasn't a simple trick. It was a malicious act intended to cause harm. It took some of the Prophet's hair that had come off while combing, and the spathe of a male date palm. He then tied 11 knots in a string, placing these items inside, and threw it all into a well called Duck. For a period, the Prophet, peace be upon him, experienced the effects of this. It was a difficult time. He would feel as though he had done something when he hadn't, and he felt a heavy burden. But it's crucial to understand that this never affected his divine mission. The revelation of the Quran and his duties as a prophet remained untouched and perfectly preserved by Allah's will. This was a personal trial, a test of his human nature. One night, while he was asleep, 2 angels came to him in a dream. One sat by his head and the other by his feet. They had a conversation, revealing the entire plot. One asked, "What is wrong with this man?" The other replied, "He is under the effect of magic." "Who did it?" asked the first. "Labid ibn al-Isam," was the reply. "With what? What?" "With a comb, hair, and the spathe of a male date palm, tied with 11 knots, placed under a rock in the well of Darwan." When the Prophet, peace be upon him, woke up, he knew exactly what had happened. He sent some of his most trusted companions, including Ali ibn Abi Talib, to the well. They drained the water and lifted the rock, finding the bundle exactly as described in the dream. They brought it back to the Prophet, and here is the most beautiful part of the story. At that very moment, Allah revealed the 2 chapters, Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas. Together, these 2 surahs contain exactly 11 verses. As the Prophet, peace be upon him, recited the first verse, 1 knot came undone. As he recited the second, another knot untied. He continued to recite, verse by verse, and with each recitation, a knot was released until all 11 were undone. At that moment, the heavy feeling was lifted from him completely, as if he had been freed from a tight bond. It was created by the mercy and power of Allah. Now, let's look closely at the words of Surah An-Nas itself. It begins, Qul a'udhu birabbin-nas. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of mankind. This opening is so powerful. We are not just seeking refuge with any being, but with the Rabb, the Lord, the Sustainer, the Cherisher of all people. It establishes a universal connection. He is the Lord of everyone, believers and non-believers alike. It reminds us that his authority is absolute and encompasses all of creation. The next verse says, Malikan-nas, the King of mankind. This reinforces the first verse. While a Rabb or Lord can be a master or a caregiver, a Malik or king has ultimate sovereignty and dominion. No one can challenge his rule. When we feel powerless against the whispers of evil, we are reminded to turn to the true King, the one who holds all power and control. His decree is final. Then, the third verse, Ilahinas, the God of mankind. This verse takes it a step further. An-Ilah is the one who is worthy of all worship. We seek refuge in the one true God, the only one deserving of our devotion and prayers. By stating these 3 attributes of Allah, Lord, King, and God, the Surah builds an unshakable foundation of faith. We are placing our trust in the ultimate authority, the ultimate power, and the ultimate object of worship. There is no higher protection we could possibly seek. After establishing who asterisk we are seeking refuge with. The surah tells us, asterisk what asterisk we are seeking refuge from. Min sharil waswasil khannas, from the evil of the whisperer who withdraws. Who is this whisperer? It refers to Shaitan, or Satan, and the evil inclinations within our own souls. The word waswas itself mimics the sound of whispering. It's a subtle, sneaky, repetitive suggestion of evil. The description al-Khannas, meaning the one who withdraws, is incredibly insightful. Shaitan's tactic is to plant a seed of doubt, a sinful thought, or a distraction, and then retreat. When you remember Allah, he shrinks back and disappears. But the moment you become heedless or forgetful, he returns to whisper again. It's a constant battle, a push and pull. This verse teaches us that the key to making him withdraw is the remembrance of Allah. The surah then elaborates on the nature of this whispering. Alladhi huwaswisu fi surah An-Nas, who whispers into the chests of mankind. The whisper isn't just an external sound. It targets our sudur, our chests, the seat of our hearts and emotions. It's an internal attack aimed at our core, trying to corrupt our intentions, create doubt in our faith, and lead us to despair or arrogance. This is where the battle for our spiritual well-being truly takes place. Finally, the surah concludes by identifying the sources of these whispers. Min al-ji, oneness, from among the jinn and mankind. This is a crucial clarification. The evil whispers don't only come from the unseen world of the jinn, personified by Shaitan. They can also come from people around us. A friend who encourages you to do something wrong, a voice on social media spreading negativity, or any human influence that pulls you away from goodnesses, are all forms of waswas from mankind. So, Surah An-Nas is a complete prescription for protection. It teaches us to seek refuge in Allah, recognizing his ultimate lordship, kingship, and right to be worshipped. And it makes us aware of the enemy, the subtle, internal whisperings that come from both the jinn and from people, targeting the very core of our being. The story behind its revelation shows us that even the best of creation, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was not immune to the trials of this world, but through reliance on Allah and his divine words, he was granted a perfect cure and protection. This gives us immense hope, no matter what we face, whether it's external harm or internal struggles with our own thoughts. The solution is always with Allah. Reciting Surah An-Nas is not just a ritual. It is a conscious act of placing your trust in Allah. It's a declaration that you recognize your vulnerability in his absolute power. It's a powerful tool to cleanse your heart, guard your mind, and find peace from the anxieties and negative influences of the world. The next time you recite it, remember this incredible story. Remember you are calling upon the Lord, the King, and the God of all mankind to protect you from every whisper that seeks to lead you astray. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the meaning and story of Surah An-Nas. I hope it brought you as much benefit as it brought me in sharing it. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more stories from the Quran, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. It really helps us grow. Until next time, may you be under the protection of the Lord of mankind.